Hello again, YouTube, and welcome back to Sakura Succubus 7. My name is MS-Punker1, and last video we had asked our very own residential cat girl to act as a guide for our guests, since Hiroki himself or we ourselves are not much of a good of a guide. So we asked Cosmos to act as one instead. And the first place she takes us is the cafe that we had our first date at. She wanted to show Stefania and Elisabeth the wonders of maid cafes. But since Elisabeth is maid herself, let's just hope this doesn't leave any bad impressions or make a bad impact. Half an hour later. I have a feeling she doesn't like it. Elisabeth's arms are folded beneath her chest, and her eyes are narrowed in obvious disapproval. She didn't like that. Cosmos stares at Elisabeth. Her expression aggrieved. Elisabeth's lip curls. I hope none of the maids at the cafe doesn't hear her. Elisabeth slams her palm against the tabletop. Yeah, she's pissed. She slams it so hard in fact that her plates and drinks shake. I can see Elisabeth's point, but at the same time she needs to also either learn or understand, at least in this moment, that we are just struggling. So we are not in the palace right now. They are here because of so they can experience this. So I think she's a little too harsh, or so she's stuck in some palace thinking. Elisabeth raises purposefully to her feet, the legs of her chair scraping against the floor. Oh, come on. A little while later. You're kidding. She actually managed to do it. Where'll I be? I watch as Elisabeth walks briskly through the cafe, disappearing with dispensing with advice when she asked, "What you're dispensing?" By the gaggle of needy maids flocking her, while occasionally pausing to take orders. Elisabeth appointed herself as this cafe's head maid less than 15 minutes ago, and the maids have already fallen under her thrall. They seem quite taken by her, despite her forcefulness. I don't remember from Succubus 5 or 6, so, but ain't Elisabeth Succubus too? So she probably could put some kind of spell over the other maids. Or maybe they taken with her because of it. Maybe these maids are all masochists who like being pushed around. That certainly explains why they let Elisabeth walk all over them so easily. Elisabeth has adapted to her role of a maid. Maid comment awfully well, like a duck to water. Maybe she was made to lead others. Could she be related in some distant manner to Joan of Arc? No, but that would be pretty badass. Elisabeth herself seems pretty badass, in fact. Despite her maid outfit, she makes her black and white attire look like battle armor. Something to be worn before riding on horseback back to the fray. Can't help but be impressed. I always knew Elisabeth took a job seriously, but I never realized she was quite this passionate. Stefania, meanwhile, seems a bit embarrassed by this affair. Her face is flushed and awkwardly she sinks down her chair. I'm not offended. No, it's fine. Why would I be offended? Stefania sighs. Nah, I was plenty negative about this cafe myself before I sat down. I find these kinds of establishment pretty gimmicky, if I'm being quite honest. I feel Neilings are more aligned with Elisabeth's than Cosmos, although. I smile cheerfully, sheepishly. I never presume to try and tell the maids at this place how to do their jobs. That'd be going a step too far. Well, I laugh amused as the maids of this humble establishment Twitter in Elisabeth's wake. Like so many starlings. These maids don't seem to have any objections about her involvement. These maids have gotten so attached to Elisabeth they are only a step short of groveling at her feet. Groveling. Look at Elisabeth like she's some sort of goddess. Maybe they fashion effigies of her and Koto before them in the privacy of their own homes. Wouldn't be surprised. Why did Stefania's picture disappear? What are you going to do? Cosmos approaches Elisabeth, who's in the midst of serving another customer, then bows down. Kneeling before Elisabeth upon the floor of a cafe, he presses her forehead to the floor and cries. How was this gonna go? And so in the end... Well, it's the Oh, come on. It's the pictures of the cover picture. And Cosmos, maybe Elisabeth taught you the acting of a real maid, but I think she would disapprove of your outfit. I approve of it, but still. Cosmos smiles vigorously. Elisabeth's sharp gaze sweeps over Cosmos, and while examining her, she sighs. Meowsters. Time passes and the day eventually comes to a close. So much for our guide tour. The sun begins to sink, and when it does, Cosmos suggests we cap our date off with bubble tea. A bubble tea secured, man, it's expensive. Where do these tiny cafes get off charging such exorbitant prices for their weddings? We then head to a nearby park. I'm content to drink my bubble tea, which is taro flavor, by the normal way, namely with the cup in my hand and my mouth about the straw. But at least Elisabeth seems to be able to do it. Cosmos, it seems, has other ideas. Stefania, seeing what Cosmos was up to, decides to join in. I guess because she didn't want to miss out. Would youngsters call that FOMO? No idea what that is. Whatever. Obviously I didn't understand what the youngsters are into anymore, or what's popular. Am I getting old? At least Elisabeth seems to share my sentiment, because she looks rather dubious about this whole affair herself. If I'm being honest, I actually would say that Elisabeth is the only one of those few who would be able to do that, because she is the only one that would be able to balance the cup or so on like that. Cosmos and Stefania are a bit too small to be able to balance the cup. I hope these drinks don't spill either. They were eye-watering expensive, and I was the Muppet who had to buy them. I know it's courtesy for a guy to foot the bill when going on dates, but it's not the customary for guys to go on dates with 3 girls at once. Is this the quite literal price I have to pay for my philandering ways? Oh well. At least Cosmos, Stefania and Elisabeth all look pretty good right now. Can't deny they're attractive. I'm inclined to agree with the maid. She speaks sense at least. What Cosmos has practiced is? Seriously? I guess I admire her dedication, but doesn't she have better ways to spend her time and money? Maybe not. A bemused Elisabeth sighs. And rightfully so. I really can't blame her for looking so fed up. Cosmos fishes her phone out of her pocket, then holds it up. Stefania's pretty incredible in general. The Cosmos might be even more so. Okay, I think this is a good place to end this video at. And what is that hat that Cosmos has? Anyway, like I said, I think that will be a good place to end this video at. So, hope you liked it, and if you did so, leave a like to it as usual, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.